All right, what up, YouTube? All right, another prediction and theory type of video about the upcoming MCU films, and this one is about Avenger Doomsday. So yeah, they're gonna be reading off some predictions and theories and rumors that they've heard online, and I'm gonna sit here, react to them, and comment on them. Let's go. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what y'all think about these predictions and theories and rumors, and let me know what are y'all predictions, theories, and rumors. All right, let's get it. This Doctor Doom origin rumor sounds familiar by new Rockstars. Rumor rundown. Three, two.
Funny. We now have a guy with no arm but a long stick hand.
Well, you
By the way, I skipped the intro because I already watched the intro, and also because it's not really important, and I just told you basically what they're gonna do. So yeah, all right, let's go.
can't describe his body, right? It's kind of a shapeshifter.
Yeah, it changes. It molts and it changes.
It's bionic. Is it just vision? Is it droop? All right, so here's the rumor. He Who Remains created the sacred timeline in order to imprison Doctor Doom by wiping Victor's memory and recasting him into the rewritten identity known as Tony Stark. He Remains allowed Tony Stark to time travel in Avengers Endgame to free a Loki variant to prepare for this multiversal war against the other Kang variants. But when Tony Stark died, and when He Who Remains also died, all versions of Doom returned, including the Doom who fought and lost that multiversal war. That Doom was so humiliated to be used as a puppet by He Who Remains, and that is going to be the Doctor Doom that we follow, played by Robert Downey Jr. in Avengers Doomsday. Effectively, this rumor is explaining why it has to be Robert Downey Jr. who plays Doctor Doom and giving us the full connection of new mask, same task. The source of this rumor is majestic_UCM on X, who claims to have a source that reached out to them. Or maybe that source or UCM themselves just got this from a recent Screen Crush video, for all we know. You should go check it out on the Screen Crush channel. I didn't watch the video, but I did see the thumbnail and I'm like,
This sounds like a Screen Crush theory.
this does sound like a Screen Crush theory.
Hey, oh, that would be kind of. I'm not surprised that there are scoopers that are probably just taking it from theories that are in videos. That makes sense. That makes complete sense.
That's happened to us before.
I'm not saying that it's a good strategy to be like, my source, and it's like your source is just us making theories, clearly making a theory. That's not how this works. But
it is how these things enter the ether. It's like a water cycle where, like, at some point things start over here, and then people will say on Reddit things that are kind of amalgamated forms from things that other people have said on 4chan, and then bits and pieces from, like,
And then just put it all together. Excuse me. And just put it all together one theory and make it sound like it's their own.
like me or Ryan or some other YouTuber, and then it all comes back here on YouTube. That's the water cycle.
Sorry.
I'm gonna read you the full text of this. So what we just read was a summary. Here's the full text of it.
Jesus Lord, that was a summary.
Yeah, there's more. There's details.
The person has the script.
This is what was translated from Majestic UCM. Okay, so here's what they said. He Who Remains created Earth 616, a sacred and controlled timeline to hide the true history of the multiverse. Victor Von Doom was considered too dangerous, so He Who Remains rewrote him into the 616 timeline. The rewriting turned Doom into Tony Stark, with the same mind altered and a new identity in life as a hero. Tony Stark always felt like he didn't fit in with his family because his real life had been stolen. Those feelings of not belonging are echoes of Doom's original identity trying to awaken. The time travel Tony.
That part right there alone sounds like the theory that Josh and that part alone already sounds like the theory that Josh at the Den of Nerds had already. It already sounds like it took it from somebody else.
Used in Endgame was deliberately allowed by He Who Remains. He Who Remains permitted those time travels because he needed a variant of Loki to survive outside his control. The survival of that Loki variant was part of He Who Remains' plan to prepare for future events. The main purpose of He Who Remains was not permanent peace, but to prepare for a multiversal war against the Kang variants who betrayed him. When Tony Stark dies, a key piece of He Who Remains' control disappears. With the death of He Who Remains, the barriers containing realities break and all versions of Doom come back into existence. Among those versions, the Doom who fought and lost in the multiversal war regains.
Not a bad theory though. Even though they did take some of it from other people, I haven't heard. We talk about what he's reading off right now. I haven't heard anybody else theorize or read or heard theorize. So not bad so far.
His memory. Upon recovering his memory, that Doom feels humiliated for having been turned into a puppet of He Who Remains. That humiliation becomes his driving force. Doom doesn't just want revenge, he wants to rebuild the multiverse his own way. So Jess, this is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And it seems like what they're saying is this is going to be.
By the way, if I paused too many times right there when he was reading that, just pause the video and just read it.
The Act 1 explanation for why it's Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday, that this will all be part of the exposition that Stephen McFeely and Michael Waldron are writing into the Act 1 of Avengers Doomsday. Or maybe this was, no, because it is so Doom related that it couldn't have just been what Loveness was writing, because Loveness's version of the script had nothing to do with Doctor Doom. So he's trying to, whoever wrote this is trying to bridge the divide between like the old Kang era of the multiverse saga and how Doom is connected to it all. This seems to go against our thinking that we talked about recently in the sneak peek, that Kang is not even going to be mentioned at all in Doomsday. If this is true, Kang is mentioned heavily and He Remains is mentioned heavily in Doomsday, and maybe that's why they would need Michael Waldron in there to kind of explain the He Remains version of it all. So what do you think? Is it possible?
By the way, Michael Waldron is the writer, is one of the writers that are helping for the script for Doomsday.
Possible that like they need Kang this much to explain why it's Downey as Doom, or are they just gonna bring in Downey as Doom and have some explanation that has nothing to do with Kang?
I guess I don't, and I've talked about this before, I don't think it's that big deal for me personally that Robert Downey Jr. is either recast as Doom or is going to be a variant of Tony Stark that is Doom. That has never been talked about this before.
Doom and have some explanation that has nothing to do with Kang.
I guess I don't, and I've talked about this before, I don't think it's that big deal for me personally that Robert Downey Jr. is either recast as Doom or is going to be a variant of Tony Stark that is Doom.
I don't agree with her at all there. Hell no. That has to be important, bro. And that is a big deal. That is a big, bro. They can't just cast Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom and be like, oh, why does he look like Tony Stark? Oh, it could just because he looks like Tony Stark, and different universes you see different people play different characters. No, bro, that is not gonna cut it, bro. If it was a different actor, then that's different. I'm trying to say like, oh, he's a Tony Stark variant, but he doesn't look like Tony Stark. And the real answer would be is because it's played by a different actor, but that's not the case. Robert Downey Jr. is set to play Doctor Doom, and he literally said at the announcement at Comic-Con or D23, I think it was Comic-Con, new mask, same task. So it has to, bro, it has to have something to do with Tony Stark. It cannot just be just because he looks like Tony Stark. No, it has to be way more than that.
That has never been. I keep trying to look at the internet of why that matters so much to people, because I can't wrap my head around knowing that. I can't wrap my head around why it matters so much that you would have to go this deep into the first act of the movie.
To, bro.
Like this would take away from a lot of the X-Men exposition. It would take away from a lot of the other people's exposition.
No, it won't. No, it would not. No, it would not, bro. Because the audience wants to know that answer, bro. Even the people who are on board with this, like me, I'm keeping a buck. I wasn't 100% on board when they announced it, but like a year later, 2 years later, might be 2 years later, I'm down. I'm trying to say, but I still want an explanation though. I don't want it to just be like, Oh yeah, because everybody knows Tony Stark, and I'm talking about like in real life. Like everybody knows Robert Downey Jr. So everybody loves him. So why not bring him back to play the bad guy? I'm trying to say, nah, dude.
We just got like rumor that um Tiana Paris was like recording stuff for Doomsday or Secret Wars or something, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It just feels like that would take a lot of time away from other people's stunts and scenes. So I don't know why they would. I feel like it'd be easier just as a one-off. Also, this would make the Russos movie more about Loki than it would make it about their movie. So I don't see it. I don't think the emotion part is. I think that tangentially like could work. The only part I don't know if it would work is during the multiversal war. Well, all the other Kangs, He Who Remains was different than the other Kangs. Agree to disagree. But the other Kangs were all egotistical and kind of just going for world domination before even anything else. So that's why I'm like, I don't think they would see Doom as really like a they just.
Bro, stop tapping your fucking finger on the table. You need to change their mics. Because it's not just her, it's him too. Whenever he hits the fucking table, you hear that shit.
Be like, wouldn't they be so egotistical that they'd be like, oh, I can defeat that guy. I don't give a about that guy. That guy does not matter. I would not need to create an entire timeline to protect ourselves from that guy. I guess that's why you would bring Michael Waldron to come back and make some sort of math to it, because it wouldn't make sense to like. You would have to change what he Who Remains was, I guess, a little bit, or how we saw him in order for him to believe that he made this timeline to protect us from Doom. He made it to protect us from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think that rationale was clear enough coming out of the Loki series that he hated all these other rival Kangs and didn't want any of them threatening his own power. Now, what I'll say is, like, as a theory, it's a fun theory.
Yeah.
It's a fun theory to imagine that, like, this He Who Remains is trying to protect the multiverse from this greater threat. It is one of the more successful theories I've read online that kind of logically connects all of it in a way that, like, fixes what it was actually in reality. Marvel Studios backing away from a decision they made based off of some controversy and then going back to play the hits of getting Downey in the saddle. But I ultimately, while it works logically as a theory, in effect, it negates all the fun character development of the most important Marvel hero of the Infinity Saga. To say that, like, the Tony Stark that we got to know and his really important relationship with his father and his mother as of Civil War, the legacy of the Stark Industries brand, his history as a warmonger. Yes, you could retcon all of that to be like, oh, these are echoes of his Doctor Doom Thetan that's still in his body trying to reawaken. But it also kind of robs Robert Downey Jr.'s character development over.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not. And if y'all watch my videos, any of my videos when I'm talking about Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom, and like it doesn't change the fact that he was a hero, like our Tony Stark was a hero. No, bro, it does not change the fact that he was a hero, bro. He was Tony Stark through and through, bro. Just because he was, I don't know how to explain it. The multiverse was fucked around, so came in so that Doctor Doom becomes a hero. Dude, Tony didn't know that. I'm trying to say, it's how the Starks raised him. I'm trying to say, and bro, he died a hero. That doesn't change the fact that he's Tony Stark, bro. It might retcon like him as not him as a character. Oh, it might retcon. It's gonna retcon something, obviously, but dude, well, it doesn't change the fact that it doesn't retcon that he was a hero. I'm trying to say, like, I don't know if I'm making sense, but my point is, bro, he was Tony Stark through and through. Just because this is it, that doesn't mean, oh, never mind. Damn, that means he wasn't a hero after all. Damn, that kind of fucks up Tony Stark's story. No, it doesn't, bro. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Over 10 years. And what was a really cool character, this kind of rock star, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist who found his heart. And to say that was just like a vessel for a Doctor Doom who's in witness protection, just kind of bums me out, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it bums. I get it. I'm like, it bums everyone out. I guess it's more about whether or not Marvel sees it that way.
Sure,
because Marvel could easily just be like, yeah, well, he died.
well, my instinct would be Marvel, in the same way they've been pretty sacred about everything from that era, they wouldn't want to retcon that.
His death.
Like, they already made this mistake a little bit by saying Rhodey was a Skrull for a certain period of time, for suggesting that Rhodey might have even been a Skrull during the events of Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Like,
Now that's different. Because that retcon that they did, I don't know if it was ever confirmed that this is what it was, but that Rhodey was a Skrull since what? Civil War. That was dumb. That was a dumb ass retcon. You know what I'm trying to say? That was stupid as hell. That's if that's what it that's if that's what it ended up being. I'm trying to say. And the reason why I look at it that differently is because if that Rhodey from Secret Invasion was the Rhodey that we had since Civil War, dude, he pointed a gun at Nick Fury. He was bad in the show. I'm trying to say that Skrull was bad in the show. Tony Stark was never a Skrull or was never secretly Doctor Doom. He knew he was Tony Stark. That's how he was raised. I'm trying to say. But Rhodey, that's different. It was like somebody came and swap bodies with him. I'm trying to say, and that person that swapped bodies with Rhodey, with the real Rhodey, they know that they're not actually Rhodey. I'm trying to say. I hope that makes sense. I hope it doesn't sound hypocritical to what I just said before that. But I think y'all agree with that retcon though for Rhodey was dumb. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hope that makes sense.
we have to go to a deleted scene from the Falcon the Winter Soldier to disprove that, because like the director of Secret Invasion was like, yeah, I was thinking after Civil War is when that swap happened. So it's
Jesus.
like the Rhodey in Infinity War and Endgame was a Skrull,
and he was just a help it. I guess what else are you gonna do? You're stuck on this planet with us. You gotta help us.
Yeah.
And he just like okay.
And if that was a Skrull in Infinity War and Endgame, obviously they were just helping just so they wouldn't look suspect. I'm trying to say Tony Stark wasn't being a good guy so he wouldn't look suspect. No, because Tony Stark was a good fucking dude. I'm trying to say, there we go. That kind of, hopefully that cleared it up a little bit. I was trying to say.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It's hard to even imagine that, which is why I consider that one deleted scene from Winter Soldier, Falcon the Winter Soldier, where it suggested that it happened recently.
Yeah.
I consider that to be canon just to avoid having to think about that. Yeah. But I think Marvel, when it comes to a character like Tony Stark and how important he was to their franchise, to say that like that Tony Stark was actually Doctor Doom in disguise, it's like, well then, do we not really have a Tony Stark?
Well, it would be a different variant Tony Stark.
Yeah, I guess it would open the door to another Tony Stark in another reality.
Because we talked about that with like another T'Challa coming. You said coming from another timeline, so it's like, I guess if Marvel does that, it doesn't hurt them to do it to Tony Stark.
No, but I do think that door is open either way by just saying like in the future, after the multiverse saga ends, after Secret Wars, you could just have another Tony Stark from another universe. But to say that the Tony Stark we have had was not Tony Stark actually, it's gonna hurt too many people or just ruffle too many feathers.
They're not wrong there. That probably will be like, it's gonna make a lot of people think what I don't think it is. They're gonna be like, damn, let me see this battle along. I'm trying to say, no. And I got a video where I reacted to the Den of Nerds, Josh from Den of Nerds. I reacted to one of his videos, and he literally explains it clearly what I'm trying to explain about how Tony Stark is still Tony Stark through and through, even after finding out that in the cosmos he was actually supposed to be Doctor Doom, but Kang turned into where he grew up as a Stark. You know what I'm trying to say? So go through one of my videos. It's in one of those videos with the Den of Nerds. So yeah, I don't know which one it is exactly, but I know I uploaded it. So yeah, just go check. He explains it way better than I do.
I just don't see like Kevin Feige loving that idea.
No, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, but you know, here in the Rumor Rundown, we're not just critiquing theories or whether they are plausible. We're talking about like the sourcing of these theories, and this is the first time I've seen this account on X say like a source reached out to me. That's the kind of language that you see like My Time to Shine Hello, Daniel Rickman, Grace Randolph, other people, the Jeff Snyders of the world. So it's like, okay, I see what you're doing, Majestic UCM. You're trying to get this kind of credibility or lack of credibility, whatever you want to grade it as. You're trying to be a player in the game. Yeah. So, okay, welcome to the game, my friend. Let's investigate your process. Today's video of Rumor Rundown is sponsored by Rula. To better pin the Rula 50 cents. Actually, no new Rula supports type of that works with you, not against your budget. This type of scoop is just too robust to be a kind of scoop that anybody who would be sourcing this to you would have access to. Like, unless your source was Michael Waldron himself, but he's already talking to press. He wouldn't talk to you, anonymous account.
I don't know how it is for Marvel. I only know this is how it kind of was for the boys.
The reason why I have no comment on this is because I don't know how the scoop game works. I don't know how that works at all. So when it comes to like the actual game, people that actually do like scoops and shit, I don't know how that shit works.
Allegedly, the boys did allow like some leakers to leak things, but they would also ask you to minimize it or throw in one like curveball that wouldn't happen. So it would just like suppress everyone's appetite before the show showed up. And if Marvel did give you that direct information, it would not be that big.
It would not be
that much information. Even Jeff Snyder, when he does the In Snyder stuff, is like one paragraph, 3 pages of conversation.
Right.
He's like, I heard this is what happened. Oh my goodness. It is not that detailed.
Can I ask you, go into more detail on this The Boys leak? This is news to me.
So I don't
you don't have to name names. You don't have to put anyone
it's
on
not even like, I don't know. It was during The Boys, like season 3 or 4, there was a couple of leakers that would leak information about what was going to happen in the season, and that leaker actually stopped leaking stuff because of The Boys because certain cast members were doing problematic things and they didn't abide by it. But they said that the show knows that I'm doing this. They just require me not to share so much. And with that being said,
that's wild.
A lot of leaks, not a lot. Actually, no, I take it back. Rewind it. Not a lot of leaks. Some leaks can actually come from the source because it gives you guys more momentum to go watch the show or just talk about it to get it more press.
And I'm pretty sure that's the studios trying to like get people hyped and trying to say like go ahead, yo, you see this? Go talk about this. Go tell to somebody that you know that has an outlet. Go ahead. Go spread this. Feel me? Like let's build a hype. I would have blamed studios for doing that. Like here. This is a leak. Feel me? Go ahead.
I always go back to Ryan Reynolds being like, yeah, I kind of leaked the trailer.
So you're referring to Eric Kripke himself, the showrunner.
No, I don't know if that there's 3 showrunners for The Boys. So I do not know which one was the one that allowed him to do, or allowed this leaker to do it.
Okay.
But I do remember when that was going on for The Boys because I like that person.
I did not know that. Oh shit, this is my first time finding out about that shit.
I like that account, and I didn't get screeners, so I was like, what the hell's going on? And then they were like, this is happening, and I was like, ooh. And then one day they were like, I'm not doing this anymore. And also people would be like, how do you know these things? And I always say she. It's probably, I call all scoopers a girl if I don't know who they are. And
I think it's good to default to that. My Time to Shine Hello.
I always say she.
Yeah,
she does.
Nothing against. I'm just saying, when I found out that the scooper that goes by my time to shine hello was a female, I was like, oh shit, because most of the scoopers were dudes. I'm trying to say, I was like, hey, yeah, good shit. Oh yeah, I did not know that.
But she was genuinely like, no, they tell me things, and then more than like 80% of the things she said was true.
Interesting.
They all happened, and then she stopped posting for The Boys. But that was The Boys. I don't know if Eric Kripke was the one in touch with her. I don't know who was in touch with her. It might be a boy. I'm sorry if you're a boy. But someone
the leaker for The Boys shit.
I also think The Boys, unlike DC and Marvel, don't have the same like you can air leaks out and we're not gonna be like
right
recasting someone.
Yeah, and I think even the way Kripke and other people at Prime Video have run their socials, they're much more playful, much more interactive. They're less sacred and secretive about everything. Culturally, compare that to Marvel Studios, very different culture. Even James Gunn, very different approach. And he is someone who kind of toes the line of, he'll negate stuff. He'll tell us no. in ways that I wish Marvel Studios would just tell people no sometimes.
That's what I fuck about James Gunn a lot too. He's mad transparent. He'll let people know straight up on the internet. Like, nope, that's not true. Yep, that's true. Not quite. Like, he'll let people know straight up.
So when it comes to this, a big fat yes. Like this,
that it's just too dense for me.
It's too dense. It's too robust. It's too meaty. Yeah. The type of realistic scoops will be like what we have seen proven right for people like Daniel RPK in the past, or even My Time to Shine Hello. Characters' involvement in things, or just like specific plot points. I believe the plot of Eternals, the plot of Thunderbolts did start to come out a couple weeks based off of test screenings. Test screenings, I think, are pretty valuable, trusted information because those people did actually see it. Yeah. And we know the studios do those things. In this case, there's been no test screenings for Doomsday. There's been no script leaks for Doomsday. They don't even have a fucking script for Doomsday.
Unless this is like, which I'm sorry if this is you. It's, I mean, like not seeing is believing, but girl, you got to get more under your belt. Unless you're like an assistant that does know and you posted this all and this is your first time doing a scoop like this, I'd be like, okay, for your next one, do not air that much out.
Yeah,
I think
people will have more reason to believe you.
I think it's a fairly well written theory, and even comparing this to the one Zach and I looked at last week, it was just like a massive final battle plot description that involved like an insane number of people that no way they could all fit in Doomsday. This actually just feels like more of a logical explanation that could be an exposition to answer some questions, and I appreciate it for that. I just feel like this is not any kind of plot leak at all, and I honestly, I don't even know if Waldron and McFeely had thought about that connection as much as this theory has.
Well, they probably think about it now.
Yeah, if he's reading it.
Saw that, yeah, if
Waldron's watching New Rockstars.
If they watch New Rockstars or the Screen Crush video or saw that tweet, they probably are like, well. And they start, that would be so much gymnastics for those characters, and you'd be taking a lot from those past characters. Like you would take a lot from Tony Stark, and you would take a lot about He Who Remains. And I think He Who Remains, did so good wrapping up who he was, because after he dies, we're like, wait, we didn't get everything. We want to know more. I don't need to hear anymore.
Yeah,
he has to be a mystery now, and now we're dealing with the other Kangs and Victor Timely. Like that's what I wanted. That's what I liked. He was an anomaly. That was like the whole point. Was like, yeah, he's stuck at the end of time, and he doesn't like this.
Yeah, and even getting back into the theory critiquing of it, like to say that like Doctor Doom was kind of nerfed that way, it robs Doom of some power. To say that like ego and humility is kind of nerfed. To say that like Doctor Doom was kind of nerfed that way, it robs Doom of some power. To say that like ego and humiliation.
Does it? I don't even know. I don't even know.
Are what driving him is not what they seem to be suggesting by New Mask Same Task. Like the Doctor Doom who I'm picturing for Avengers Doomsday is motivated by what he thinks is he's the hero of the story. He's not a petty little brat who feels like he was tricked. That's not what motivates Doom. Doom would get over that. Yes, Doom has ego, but that's not the kind of like thing that drives someone for 2 movies. For someone as big as Doom is going to be in these next 2 movies, he has to come from some kind of hero complex where he thinks he is saving the multiverse and like he's rebuilding the multiverse.
He's speaking facts right there. Yeah, Doom has to like feel and know in his soul, or think that he knows in his soul, in his body, that he's the hero. That everybody else doesn't know. That he's the only one that's willing to make the sacrifice. I'm trying to say that's Doom. That's Doom.
Like he's redecorating a house that had some squatters in it. No, that's not what Doom's all about.
Doom's also smart.
Yeah,
like Doom's also smart, and so is Kang. So I was like, I think it would feel kind of weird to know that Doom fell for some plot that got him trapped. I feel like they both would come up with the same ideas of like, damn, he got me there. And I also think, and this is just me because it's Doom, I think Doom's a little bit higher in my regards than like He Who Remains.
If I remember correctly, in the comics, doesn't Doctor Doom think they're variants of each other? That they're descendants of each other? Or that they could be a version where they are descendants, or they are related somehow? Am I wrong? I think something in the comics, right? I just remembered that right now. I forgot. Doctor Doom and King are kind of intertwined comics. Yeah, because I think I'm right about that. Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he
all
should
because
be.
all the Kangs, I think once you get He Who Remains is great, but all the Kangs are a little bit less than every other one. Like they're all just like there's a million of them. They all can't be number one. They're all gonna be descendants of the other. It's like, yeah, they're kind of weak.
If you're gonna tell me between Doom and Kang, who's the petty one? Kang.
It's Kang, yeah.
Kang is the petty one.
Kang, that's why I'm like the ego.
It's crazy because I think she was just about to say before I paused it. I was gonna be like, no, but no, I think he's right. Yeah, I think like Doctor Doom is petty, but Kang is dumb petty. I'm trying to say like Doctor Doom could be petty, but he knows how to be petty and when it works for him. You know what I'm trying to say? So and Doctor Doom is more ego. Kang is more petty and power hungry. I'm trying to say Doctor Doom thinks he has all power. He doesn't worry about that. Yeah. So yeah, if it's Doctor Doom compared to Kang, I would say yeah, Doctor Doom has ego and Kang is the petty
Part Kang variants 100%. Doom is just Doom. I also, yeah, he's just too smart to be. Which they could do all of what we're saying. They could absolutely do it. It's just more, I think, like on a pessimistic and business end, where I'm like, that's a lot of time to be doing a lot of mental gymnastics to try to make something work that you think works, Michael Waldron or someone else, and then they forget that something else hiccups it on the way, and then we'll get that timeline book, and it'll be Ms. Minute spilling coffee all over it again. I think it would just be easier to go a different route.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. And I think anytime you see a theory or a quote unquote leak come into your feed, if that explanation of how Kang and Doom are connected, from the Kang who was in the Loki series to the Doom who's now going to be in this movie, if that explanation makes like Kang the more powerful of the two, or Kang the smarter or the more lethal of the two, then that's probably not what's going to happen. Marvel isn't investing $100 million in Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark just to make him look like a hoodwinked, not as effective villain that we now have to live with. And Kang was really the superior of the two. That's not going to be how it plays out. What, if anything, the power status is going to be the opposite. That Doctor Doom was the usurper. That Doctor Doom was the man behind it all. The brilliant scientist who was able to overthrow.
100%. But Doctor Doom had to have been played somehow. I'm trying to say, even just a little bit. I want somebody to get the up on him, to get one up on him, and in the movie we see him be like, "Yeah, you think you got one up on me? All right, bet. Watch this." I'm trying to say, well, he had to get played somehow because if anything, you would have been encountered him. I'm trying to say, so yeah, he had to got played somehow at some point in time.
The Kang Dynasty in some way that they'll barely touch on in the opening act. Let's be realistic. So in terms of like, that's kind of like our general critique of the theory. In terms of like how this happened, I honestly think this is a clever enough theory, a creative enough theory that maybe the person who originally wrote this was just someone who's trying to find a solution. It really was just a theory that was written on Reddit or 4chan or one of these other places. And they were just kind of honestly trying to figure out a solution to this problem in the way that a lot of new Rockstars and Screen Crush Theory videos did. Maybe taking in a lot of different sources that they had read or watched videos on. And there's nothing wrong with just like writing that on Reddit. The issue is that someone else saw that, I think, and then reposted it as a plot leak. And then now it's coming into our lives as something that came from like an official inside source. And I don't think that happened here. So I don't have a problem with whoever wrote this theory. I do have a problem with people spreading this around as if it is like a legitimate leak, which I don't think it is.
But that's gonna happen. We've talked about this on Rumor Rundown before. That's just gonna always happen at the end of the day, is because none of these people have to put their face on things.
Right.
It's anonymous, and let me tell you, anonymous, you can say whatever the hell you want, and it gets traction, and then you get a bunch of followers.
Yep,
and then you get a bunch of followers.
And it's why, like, I don't know, say what you will about Grace Randolph and John Roca and Jeff Snyder and all those folks, like, at least if you're putting your face out there, I have a bit more respect for you than just like the My Time to Shine Hellos or anyone else who just like, we don't even know their freaking name and they just use some kind of online pseudonym and make their claims, because it's a lot easier to do that. If people don't like, know anything about you. So like, Nothing against you, Majestic UCM. It's just like you could. There's also a way you can get traction just by being like a theorist who's like posting this stuff. Maybe people won't take you as seriously right away, but like if you have like really entertaining theories, that alone can be like something that can get you followers.
You probably get better traction with like a scoop than you do with a theory.
I think that's what it is. But who cares about traction?
They do. They're scoopers.
But traction on X, traction on 4chan, what does that get you in life?
That's what their job is.
Clout.
Where else are they putting they're not putting it on, like, they're not sending a pigeon. They got to put it on social media.
I mean, but if you're trying to like make a living off of this on Patreon, you know what we need is someone to create an OnlyFans. And they can put whatever type of content in the background of that, but like use that as a place to post your theories. No one has done that yet. There are acres of diamonds out there that are ready to be recovered if anyone wants to make a living doing this.
I think no one's gonna pay for it.
Some people will, depending on the background content. People will.
Depending on the background content, maybe someone will. I like how you're like, your full-time job is this, but your side job is also posting some of your theories.
I will never shame anyone's side hustle because I think if they're doing that, that will keep them more responsible as theorists.
Why does the theories have to be the side hustle for the only thing?
I'm not gonna say what's the main course and what's the side dish in this scenario. That's true.
Some people are turning it to.
It's gonna go back and forth, and that's fine. I'm just like
Someone's like, oh,
I'm moving on from my prescriptions. Wait, that's not. I want to be clear. I have never gone on OnlyFans for content, and I don't know what it's like on there. I'm just aware that it exists and people are making money doing it, and I think it is a safe alternative to what the sexual content industry has been historically, which has been a lot of horrible things have happened in it. And if OnlyFans allow,
not to speak on that, but he kind of speaking facts though, because at least on OF, like you control your own shit. Feel me? Inside a studio, you the boss of your own shit. So hey man, you kind of speaking facts there. I doing that.
Allows an avenue for creators to do this in a safe way.
I think you have to unfortunately be doing sex things on OnlyFans. If you try to do more theories than you do sex, the account goes for you because they come at celebrities that just post like. Cardi B had an OnlyFans and she was posting like her behind the scenes of music videos.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you also want to make that type of content and then mix that with theories about YouTube. Doomsday, I think there is a way to make this happen.
I don't know how we got onto people on OnlyFans should be theorists, but I support it. I don't think.
Or theorists should go on OnlyFans. Sorry, my bad. Just be prepared for what people are going to be expecting from that.
I'm expecting a hole.
My big toe says that it's gonna be Kang. My pinky toe. That's all we're gonna say. Just go vote.
That people start going to this baby giraffe instead. Have pee on a child.
What?
That's how I imagine giraffes. Giraffes are always attacking children at the zoo.
They are.
No, well, like you're.
Well, okay. So rating this one, Majestic, you seem. I think we gotta give it a poop.
I think it's a poop, but I would give it a 10 for a theory. I think it's a great theory.
A 10 out of 10 theory. I think there's a lot of creativity, and I appreciate people who are making theories to try to answer questions. I think those are the best theories, the ones that kind of solve some kind of logical gap that we need filled.
I think, again, sometimes...
I still stand on what I said, though. In the beginning, what the theory said, I think they got it from like another YouTuber, and then they added their own shit. But I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong.
They might take it. This one seems like
they being like Marvel might be like yes,
and Marvel's like, I didn't think about that. I know they have to. At some point, I feel like sometimes they're like, wait a minute, we didn't think about that. I also think because I think it was The Boys. Someone writing for The Boys watches The Boys videos, and I was like, oh great, and I think it was mainly for continuity.
Oh, just because
they were like, we're making sure that like we didn't fuck up on something.
That's dope.
Well, it helps them.
We need to get a list of everybody who works on these shows and movies who watches new Rockstars videos.
All right, that was that. All right, let me know what y'all think. What are y'all predictions? What are y'all theories for Avengers Doomsday? And what else? What I was gonna say? Oh, let me know. Did you like this theory, or you ain't fuck with it at all? But all right, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, let me know y'all predictions. Deuces.